What's up, internet friends? How are you guys today? VCs, founders, and the entrepreneur curious. You've made it, and you're here. Good morning, my friends. It's Friday. That's right, it's Friday. It's near the end of the month, and I'm glad that you guys are spending your morning with me. If you're not spending your morning with me, hopefully you're listening to me throughout the day. It's Venture Daily, guys. I am glad to be here. We have a great show for you. More tributes. We're going to be giving some more tributes out to Kobe Bryant because some of you guys might not have known is that Kobe Bryant was actually an investor. Now, he wasn't a prolific investor, but certainly at 41, he was getting into the game. And so it's sad to know, or sad to think about, where he could have applied himself and could have invested his massive amounts of capital and influence and social influence in making the world a positive place. So Silicon Valley, this week, Silicon Valley has reached out and given its color commentary to the passing of Kobe Bryant, so we're going to be covering that, as well as Amazon workers. The Amazon workers are speaking out about climate change. I didn't know that this was a big political thing within the world of Amazon, or at least inside the company of Amazon. And sometimes, to be quite frank, it makes me wonder, should politics be a part of company culture, or should it be kind of like religion in company culture? You just kind of keep it to yourself. Let's see what these Amazon workers have to say. And last but not least, a kind of a good note is that Google is charging law enforcement for information. Every time they try to subpoena or try to get information from the Googs, they have to pay for it. This seems like a pretty good deal. I think it's nice. I think it's good that law enforcement has to have some, let's just say, some checks and balances, some guardrails, some walls that they have to climb before they just grab all of our information. Those are the three news bits today. Kobe Bryant. We're going to be talking about Amazon and climate change, as well as the police having to get charged by Google. Then we're going to be moving into venture deals for today. We got a short list, but we always want to know where the money is going and where the money is flowing. And in today's final word, we're going to be talking about slowing down just a little bit. In the light of Kobe Bryant's death, I've been thinking about it a lot, about slowing down, making sure that I have time for family, friends, and loved ones, and really the things that matter in life. That's it, guys, in today's Venture Daily. Let's get into it, my friends. The first news bit today: Silicon Valley pays tribute to Kobe Bryant, the basketball legend and, by the way, investor. Kobe Bryant, the 18-time NBA All-Star who had a 20-year career with the Los Angeles Lakers, died in a helicopter crash Sunday. His 13-year-old daughter Gianna and 7 others also died in the crash. Unfortunate. Following his retirement from the NBA, Bryant chose venture capital as his second act. He and business partner Jeff Steibel formed a venture firm, Bryant Steibel, in 2013 and raised $100 million for the debut venture capital fund 3 years later. The investment included sports media website The Players Tribune, which is recently acquired by Minute Media, video game designer Scopely, and legal services company LegalZoom. Bryant was known for his obsessive pursuit of perfection and precision and excellence, which he dubbed the Mamba mentality. In his bio section on the Bryant Steibel website, Bryant wrote, quote, "To lead others, you have to constantly learn. I wouldn't say my leadership style changed over the years. I like challenging people and making them uncomfortable. That's what leads to introspection, and that's what leads to improvement. You could say I dare people to be their best selves." That approach has never wavered from basketball to business. What I did adjust, though, was how I varied my approach from player to player, business to business. I still challenge everyone and make them uncomfortable. I just do it in a way that is tailored to them. To learn what would work for who, I do homework and watch how they behave. I learn their histories and learn to what their goals are. I learn what makes them feel secure and where their greatest doubts lay. Once I understand them, I can help bring them the best out of them by touching the right nerve at the right time. Well, I will certainly say that Kobe Bryant was a lifelong learner. If you watch any of the videos that were the inspirational videos of him talking to some interviewee, always talking about not only his hustle, his work ethic, the fact that he's never ever satisfied, and that he's always wants to challenge and grow others and make them uncomfortable, just like this. I know that when it comes to his venture capital experience or deploying capital into companies, I'm sure he took a very tailored approach and made sure that he was was a researcher and an understander, if that's not even a word, but he made sure that he understood the people behind the idea. I'll tell you, I didn't know Kobe Bryant all that well. I don't follow basketball. Frankly, I don't follow sports all that much. But I will tell you, over the last week, I've learned more about his character and the good things about him than ever before. It's unfortunate that a lot of the great things about people are only revealed posthumously, right, after they're gone. I wonder if there's a way for us to create a worldview where we can appreciate, respect, and honor people while they're alive more. There's something about death, isn't there? There's something about people moving on that makes us remember not only our mortality, but really the fragility of our lives. Following the news of Bryant's passing, venture capitalists and tech executives have taken the opportunity to leverage it for their advantage in making themselves, no, you know what I'm talking Don't you? I feel like a lot of people are coming out of the woodwork, you know? A lot of people are coming out of the woodwork and leveraging this opportunity to, shill their stuff. I get it. Anyway, tech executives shared tributes in honor to the legendary player whose VC life was only beginning. Quote, "My brain, it cannot process failure. It will not process failure, because if I sit there and I have to face myself and tell myself you're a failure, I think that's almost worse than death," Kobe Bryant, basketball legend, said. Mark Andreessen was the one who quoted him. "Many of us were teenagers when Tupac, Selena, Biggie, and Cobain died within a 3-year period. We are resilient." I was there. I remember that. Did it affect me? So these are just thoughts and hymns to help me and others get through another hour. I hope they make sense, says Arlen Hamilton, founder of Backstage Capital. "Oh my geez, I can't believe it. It's so devastating," said Jessica Alba, co-founder of The Honest Company. "The last conversation I had with @Kobe Bryant was how exciting he was to be doing big tech investing and about the legacy he wanted to build off the court. He still believed he had work to do. I wish I had more time to work with him. What a tragedy. Hugging my daughter extra today," says Alexis Ohanian, founder of Initialized Capital. Kobe, fuck. There's got to be a lot of takes, but not sure I will ever know anyone else with his work ethic. Legend. #RIP Mamba, says Crick Saka, founder of Lowercase Capital. Kobe just loved being a dad, and when it comes to his legacy, I really hope we're able to take time to remember that was an essential part of it, says Derek Jeter, founder of the Players Tribune. Well, some good juju is going out to Kobe and his family. Certainly, in our last episode of Venture Daily yesterday, gave a small tribute of my own. I didn't know him, again, that well, but it seems like he was a wonderful person, and he was giving back more than just what he gave on the court. Let me know your thoughts and your ideas around Kobe Bryant and how he made an impact on you in your younger years, if he did at all. Leave a comment below. Next up, guys, Amazon workers speak out on climate. The question really is are they actually educated enough to speak on it? Not that that's an issue. You don't have to be educated on anything to speak on anything. I mean, look at me. Here I am on boob tubes, guys. Hundreds of Amazon workers are pushing the company to adopt tougher policies to reduce carbon emissions and fight climate change. So why does this matter? I'm not sure it does, but the employees are putting their names to their comments, posting on Medium on Sunday, and the move defies Amazon's corporate policy. So what's the big picture here? Well, employee activism at tech companies is on the rise, both at companies known for openness like Google, as well as companies that don't have a long tradition of worker action like Amazon. So why is this really coming about is the question that rises up in my gut. Why are workers finding more time to focus on politics than actually get work done? If it was me and this is just me anyway, I focus more on myself, getting work done, grinding out my 10-year plus plan in my life, the career that I want, the places I want to be, the family I want to have, what I want to achieve, where I want to go, the people I want to talk to, and the experiences I want to have. This is what I focus my life on instead of picketing outside my job, potentially getting fired, talking about climate change, in which frankly I don't know if I'm actually that informed, and I don't know if anyone actually is ever that informed except the client scientist who 50-50 on average 50-50 disagree with each other on pretty much everything. Anyway, so many of the workers are calling on Amazon's AWS unit to stop doing business with oil and gas. Stop doing business with oil and gas companies. Increasingly, those concerned with climate change have been pressuring not only oil and gas companies, but those companies' partners and suppliers. Oh, that's a very kind of social justice way of ruining things by targeting employers. Nice, good job.
Nope.
Microsoft pledged to become carbon negative has drawn praise, for example, mostly as social signaling to the world and a political move, for example, but critics pointed out that Azure Web Services unit was still doing business with oil and gas companies. The hypocrisy is big, guys. So what are they saying? Michael Sokolov, Amazon's principal engineer, says, expecting its employees to maintain silence on these issues and Amazon's impact on them is really a reprehensible approach, and I am proud to take responsibility to demonstrate my unwillingness to comply. He must feel secure in his job, my friends. Amelia Graham McCann, Amazon's senior business analyst, says the science on climate change is clear. Again, I'm ignorant, so leave the comments below if I'm completely speaking out of my depth, and I already know. But I'll tell you, from what I understand, the climate science isn't settled, and it's never that clear. Actually, from what I understand, the entire climate has been changing all the time. And by the way, from my own science background, my data and science background, I would tell you that everything is changing all the time. So if your life is changing all the time, the world is changing all the time, it would be probably a pretty positive assumption to assume that the climate is changing all the time. Up and down we go, guys. Up and down we go. It is unconscionable for Amazon to continue helping the oil and gas industry extract fossil fuels while trying to silence employees who speak out. Cool.
Nope.
Jacob Hinton, Amazon software engineer, says contributing to climate change, supporting ICE, and brutal labor conditions in the warehouse are great for the bottom line, but awful for society. You mean
nope.
You? Amazon response says, from a company's spokesperson, we founded the Climate Pledge, committing to net zero carbon by 2040, which is 10 years ahead of the Paris Agreement. We plan to use 100% renewable energy by 2030, but we have thousands of people working on sustainability initiatives across the company. But that doesn't matter, because what matters now is you need to be correct and you need to fix yourself now, Amazon. Because remember, the millennials, it's a Burger King world. They want to have it their way and they want it now. They're not willing to wait for you to improve your process, improve the way that you do business, because who's got time for that? So what's next? Amazon says we will do our best to enforce our external communications policy and will not allow employees to publicly disparage or misrepresent the company or the hard work of colleagues who are developing solutions to these hard problems. Well, I would agree with Amazon here. As a company, they have all the right to create the policies they want. And in a free market society, if you are an individual who wants to work for Amazon, then you have signed on the dotted line that you will comply and agree to the policies in which your employer has moved into this contract with you. The contract says that they will pay you for good work and following their rules. If you decide not to follow their rules, then you have the opportunity to be fired. That's free market capitalism, guys. That's the social contract. That's the work contract that you signed. I find it fascinating, once again, that people are always talking about issues that take time to move on, take time to complete, take time to finish, take time to do. Climate's not going to be solved tomorrow. I think there are better ways, and this is all coming from just my where I sit here, but I think there are many, many better ways of communicating to employers your desires, your passions, your motivators, what excites you, what makes you a better employee. There are better ways than going out to the online interwebs and just being a troll and just talking about your suffering. Go talk to your boss. Go find some purpose in the work that you're doing that can allow you to elevate yourself, elevate the company, help the company move forward instead of just complaining. I'm not a big fan of complaining, and I think that's where a lot of my color commentary and maybe my criticism comes from when it comes to anything. It doesn't have to be climate change. It can be any type of complaining, guys. I'm just not a big into complaining. It doesn't help anything. Conversations are far better. So let me know your thoughts. Are Amazon workers going too far in complaining about climate change, which is going to take a long time to fix anyway? Or are there better ways to do it? Or are we just in a society where now complaining online is the best way to feel like you're socially significant and validate your existence somewhat? Let me know in the comments below, guys. Last but not least, a good news bit. Google is now charging for law enforcement requests. Google began charging law enforcement agencies for requests in its user data this month, Axios Orion Rumler reports. So what's the big picture? Tech firms like Amazon, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok and Microsoft have all explicitly declared they might seek reimbursement for giving personal data to federal agencies and law enforcement, which they're legally entitled to do. So by the numbers, Google receives about 75,000 global requests. Holy cow. I didn't know they received that many. 75,000 global requests for data in the first half of 2019, according to the New York Times. That's more than Microsoft, but way less than Facebook. Microsoft received only 24,000 data requests from January to June last year, and Microsoft says it rejected roughly 26% of those requests. Facebook had more than 128,000 government requests for data in the same time frame and complied to about 73% of them of the time. Google's fees range from $45 for a subpoena and $60 for a wiretap to $245 for a search warrant. Wow. That almost sounds like something off the dark web, the deep web. Like, hey, we can hack anybody. It's just $25 for a subpoena, $65 for a warrant, $245 for a wiretap. Easy peasy Japanesey. I mean, come on. Really, Google? I mean, it seriously sounds like you're like a service provider on the dark web. Like, government, you want access to all of our data and our people's? No problem. Just $245 for wiretap. Man. Google's fees range from $45 for a subpoena, $60 for a wiretap, and $245 for a search warrant, the Times reports. So why does this matter? Per the New York Times, well, some Silicon Valley companies have for years forgone such charges, which can be difficult to enforce at a large scale and could give the impression that the company aims to profit from legal searches. The privacy experts support such fees as a deterrent for overbroad surveillance. What are they saying? Google's fees are partially meant to help offset costs of complying with subpoenas and warrants, and a Google spokesperson told the New York Times. Well, I'm going to agree with this in a funky little way. The reason I agree with this is I think they should raise prices, because that's what any good company should do. You should always raise prices, especially around the government. I mean, let's be honest. I've worked for government contracts. Okay. I've worked for the Department of Defense as a civilian contractor in the past. None of the stuff that I was doing was super important, but it felt important at the time. What I will tell you is that when it comes to government contractors, sometimes they'll charge the government like $500 for a screw. You know what? Your taxpayer money at work there, my friends. Should Google raise their prices as a deterrent for these types of things? What are your opinions? Let me know in the comments below. True startup story, guys. You got it. Your company just got seed round financed. Congratulations. You're going to the moon. But now you have to scale. You found great talent out in California, New York, Georgia, and even Eastern Europe. So what communications platform will you be using to ensure your international team is always aligned? Well, the answer is easy. Slack.com for Teams. We've used Slack for all of our previous startups, and they've supported us in tremendous ways. And we want to give them a thanks today for supporting vchunting.com. Did you also know that Slack is a great tool for personal use? Yeah, I use my own personal Slack channel to drop in documents, notes, to-dos, and follow-ups to ensure that my workflow throughout the day is right on course. I promise you, if you try out slack.com for personal use, you'll end up using it for your team as well. Go to slack.com to check it out. Welcome back to Venture Daily, one of the fastest growing daily news shows in all of venture media. Make sure to follow us on the tweeters at AgilPeter to know what's going on, and you can also follow us on the TikToks and the Instagrams at VC Hunting. Make sure as well to sign up for our daily newsletter called The Daily Hunt. I'm always dropping news that you can use every day. It's the news articles that I'm reading to stay up on tech, venture capital, and entrepreneurship. Let's move in, my friends, to venture deals for January 31st, 2020. Guys, we always want to know where the money is going and when the money is flowing. And sometimes, we find out about some really cool startups. Let's see if any of those are hitting today. First up is Catalan Technologies, a Boston-based provider of technology platform for programming, programs, and skills matching and resource allocation, raised $35 million in Series E funding. Congratulations. Bizongo, a India-based online B2B marketplace for packaging, raised $30 million in Series C funding. Schroeder Advec led the round. Not bad. Iguazio. I'm telling you guys, when it comes to startup names, I've seen so many different types of startup names. As weird as they sound, they never sound weird enough. Iguazio, an Israel-based data science platform for real-time machine learning applications, raised $24 million in funding. Inc. Capital Ventures led the round. Neocova, a St. Louis, Missouri-based banking technology platform built for community financial institutions, raised $9.5 million in Series A funding. Investors include Bank of St. Elizabeth. Yogi, nice name, Yogi. A New York-based customer feedback analytics platform raised $2.3 million in seed funding. I always got to give a shout for anyone getting that seed funding. Hopefully, you got the money now and you can begin to scale. RTP Ventures led the round. Let's click on Yogi and see what Yogi's all about, because they just got capitalized. Ooh, look at this dude. This dude's legit. This dude's legit, man. Understand your customers like never before. Yogi brings structure and meaning to customer feedback, helping you build great products and fantastic experiences. Oh, dude, this guy's the jam. I like this guy. Yogi takes a flood of unstructured feedback and puts every datum in its rightful place. Nice. Well, Yogi, congratulations on your seed round. It's time to scale, my friend. The Prompt Care Companies acquired Premier Specialty Infusion, a New Providence, New Jersey-based provider of complex respiratory and specialty home infusion services. Not bad. PPD Inc., a Wilmington, New York-based drug development and laboratory management service for biopharmaceuticals, plans to raise $1.5 million in an IPO. Cha-ching. Casper Sleep, a New York-based mattress maker, says it plans to raise $150 million in an IPO of 8.35 million shares, priced between $17 to $19 a piece. Casper Sleep, is this going to be another mattress company that goes under? Schrödinger Inc., a New York-based predictive molecule discovery software platform maker for biopharmaceuticals, plans to raise $150 million in an IPO. And last but not least, guys, in today's venture deals, One Water Marine, a Buford, Georgia. One Water Marine of Georgia. We got to give props to the Georgia companies, Georgia startups. We know, we love you guys. We love you out there. Keep crushing it, my friends. We love supporting Georgia. We love supporting Atlanta. We love supporting anything that has to do with the South. I love it. One Water Marine, a Buford, Georgia-based recreational boat retailer, revived its postponed IPO with the filing to raise $59.8 million in an IPO of 4.6 million shares, priced between $12 and $14 a piece. Congratulations, One Water Marine. I hope you do well in your IPO. Keep going. Keep pushing Georgia forward. We're gonna be better. I believe this. We could be better. Let's put it this way. We could very much be better than the ecosystems of San Francisco, New York, and Austin, and Colorado combined. It could be true, guys. Georgia could be the next big place. It is the next big place for startups, guys. And that right there are your venture deals for January 31st, 2020. This is where the money is going, and this is where the money is flowing.
Did you know that there's even more value than just audio or video? Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at VC Hunting, and make sure to sign up for the VC Hunting newsletter, where you'll be able to get weekly news on venture capital, startups, founder stories, and the occasional wisdom extracted from Peter's brain. Go to vchunting.com to sign up. And now back to the episode.
Welcome back to the final word of Venture Daily with me, Peter Saddington. In today's final word, we're going to be talking a little bit more about slowing down. It is Friday after all, my friends. I hope you're going to have a wonderful weekend, a restful weekend, or if you're like me, a weekend out on the track, hanging out with my son and enjoying just everything that he is. You know, one of the things that I've shifted my focus, and some of you guys might know because you've been following me for a while now. But one of the areas that I've shifted my focus big time, and this was a big shift for me in 2019, is I'm shifting my focus away from my own pursuits in terms of extracurricular pursuits, and instead investing my time in my children. I know. I've talked about this a lot, but I also know, seems like something that old people do, is they move away from their own pursuits and start realizing that it's time to invest in the next generation. Now, for me, this has been one of those things that's been it's been a growing experience. I wouldn't say that I just woke up one day and said, hey, it's time to invest in the younger generation. It was a shedding of sorts. It was a dying to myself of sorts. In the last couple of years, I've sold off so many things, so many extracurricular things. I used to have garages full of cars. Some of you guys remember. I used to have exotic cars. I don't own any anymore. Sold the R8s, the Porsches, the Lambos. I've sold them. I got a race car here that's going to be going soon. Some of you guys didn't even know that. And the reason is because I'm investing in the next generation. I'm investing in my son and my daughter. I'm really hoping. I had a conversation with my daughter just the other night. We were talking about the value of coding and how if you code, you can literally create your entire world, whatever world you want. And you'll never, ever be out of opportunities if you know how to code, if you know how to engineer and create products and services. Awesome. I want to invest in that. I want to invest in what she's doing. I want to invest in my son who wants to be a Formula One driver. Am I saying it now? Am I making it true to reality? Could it be? Who knows? But I'll tell you, there is a life beyond the life that I've experienced. And there are lives that I would love to experience in this life. One of those lives, be a Formula One dad, going to all the awesome, the 24, 26 locations, seeing some of the most exciting races of all time, seeing the technology and the engineering. Oh man, it makes me salivate in my loins, guys. Salivate in the loins. But today, guys, so I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend this week. I'm going to have a great one. I know that for sure. And I'm going to try to not do as much work this weekend, that's for sure. But let's pull one from the Shrug calendar. This is a good one. It comes from Jackson Dahl, at Jackson Dahl. He says, if you're someone who always tends to look ahead, which is certainly me, I'm always looking out. I got a long decade, 10-year plan for my life. Don't forget to slow down and be grateful every now and then. Chances are you've got a lot going for you. I'm not sure how I got so lucky. So Jackson Dahl, man, thanks for the encouragement. Yeah, slow down. Be grateful for what you have now and again. Chances are you've got a lot going for you. And I think that's the type of positive attitude we have to remember. I can tell you that there are certain occasions, it's not often, but certain occasions when our family unit, me and the Booins and the two Doges, the morning is kind of rough. It's kind of rough waking up in the morning. It's kind of rough getting them out of school. They got a poopy attitude. We got crappy attitudes. I get it. And that happened just the other day with my wife with, the whole dropping off the kids to school and crappy attitudes and not listening and forgetting shoes and forgetting homework and these types of things. You have a lot going for you. We have a lot of opportunity. The fact that you're merely listening to me on the boob tubes, or you're probably, actually my largest audience is on podcast and international. If you're listening to me, you have a lot going for you. You have a life ahead of you. You have opportunities to explore. You have things to achieve, experiences to have, and people to meet. Never get too depressed. Never get too insulated. Never get too in your own mind. I find that, for me at least, that's the beginning of depression, when I only think about myself and my own woes and my own life and what's not happening for me. Whenever I get into my own world and my own mind too much, often it's easy to get disappointed or depressed. No. Don't forget, my friends. Just as Jackson Dahl said, he said, if you're looking ahead like me, I like to look ahead. Don't forget to slow down. Don't forget to be grateful now and then. Chances are you've got a lot going for you. And his last comment here, I'm not sure how I got so lucky. I can tell you guys that I am blessed. I am absolutely blessed with a wonderful family, two healthy kids, a beautiful, hardworking, and awesome wife. I mean, she's the best. She really is the best. And frankly, I have nothing else to say there. I'm just going to leave it at that. My wife is the fucking best. Have a great one, guys. Have a great weekend. Hit me up on the Twitters. Hit me up on newsletter reply. Let me know how you're doing. Your comments. I love your comments, guys. Peace out. I'll see you next week.